So, being a Floridian, Daytona 500, I know you've answered this question 1,000 times, but one more time, considering you're so close, like close to the end of your career, what does this race mean to you?
Well, the Daytona 500 means a lot to every single race car driver. Like, this is the world center of racing, and like the Daytona 500, when you win it, it's the only race that you become the champion of the race, right? Like, if you win Dover, you don't become the Dover 400 champion, right? When you win the Daytona 500, you become the Daytona 500 champion for the rest of your life. So it is a really big deal. For me personally, it's huge. I grew up 2 hours away in Tampa, drove across that interstate of I-4 and, watched races here in the grandstands and just dreamed about being a racer here at Daytona. So to win the Daytona 500 would be the ultimate. I've had the opportunity, and I've been super blessed to win at Daytona and other races, just not the Daytona 500. So I'd like to get that one checked off.
So how jacked up are you for this season that you didn't think you were going to have originally?
I'm pumped. I keep saying this over and over, but like I feel more like I've won the lottery than I have ever before being a race car driver, because I announced to the world that I was done, right? That I was going to walk away, and here I am. And so the only way I can explain that is that it was a gift. The race team wanted me to keep going. The sponsor wanted me to keep going. My wife and kids were excited for me to keep going. Like, all the stars aligned for me to have this opportunity and still be here and racing and continue to chase my dreams. And so for me, I want to make it count. I feel like I've been blessed and gifted this opportunity, and I want to make the most of it.
You know what just kind of popped into my head, and you'll have to forgive me for this, but you're wanted. They wanted you back. That's why you're here. And the thing that popped in my head is when they went to search for you in Victory Lane in Milwaukee, and you were nowhere to be found because you didn't feel wanted.
Yeah.
And how full circle that's kind of come.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, that was just a bump in the road to a long journey. And, my career has been like that. My journey in this sport has been long, with many, many ups and many downs, and every part of it I've grown through all of it. And so, here I find myself, at the pinnacle of my career, and I want to make it count. I want to make the most of it, and it does feel wonderful to feel like you belong, to feel a part of a team, to feel like you're part of the family, and I have that at Stewart-Haas Racing.
To that point, Aric, it's just, I guess the question is, how different are you mentally this year coming into Daytona as opposed to where you were a season ago? You just, because of everything you just said, you seem so much more reinvigorated.
Yeah, and I think some of it comes from the fact that last year I felt like this is it. This is my last chance, and I put so much pressure on the fact that each weekend was going to be the last opportunity, the last chance to win a race at Dover, the last chance to win a Daytona 500, the last chance, all these last things, and they weren't, right? And I've learned from that. I've learned that life is crazy, and you have no idea what to expect. Even when you think you have it all planned out and mapped out, you don't know. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. That, we all know that, right? From whether it's tragic or whether it's jubilation, you just don't know what tomorrow brings. And so I've learned that throughout the course of my career, but I really learned that last year. And so I come into this year free. I just feel pumped and excited and ready to go, and I feel like I'm playing with house money.
On the same, you've got a new teammate this year as well, and you've got one teammate who is, we know it's going to be his final season. What is the vibe at Stewart-Haas Racing coming into the season? Obviously, you're excited. I think all four of you excited for your opportunities. What's the general feel at the shop?
I feel like the vibe is really good. Everybody at Stewart-Haas Racing has just a relentless attitude to compete at a high level, and we all want to bring the fastest race cars to the racetrack every weekend, and we strive for perfection, from the top down. We have great leadership with our boss, Tony Stewart, and Gene Haas, and everybody at our organization. Everybody pulls together, and we all want what's the best for each other. Obviously, once we get out on the racetrack, we all go race for our individual teams. But as an organization, we're ready. I feel like we're as energized and as ready as we've ever been going into this season.
And seeing Ryan have the kind of run that he was having before the fuel pump issue,
Yeah.
that only helps kind of boost that confidence.
Absolutely. I think high tide raises all ships, especially inside an organization. So anytime you start to hit on success and find speed, that trickles around the entire shop. So yeah, it's important for all four of our cars and every team to be competing at a high level, because we can all feed off of that.
What are some of the lessons that you've learned from Tony Stewart that has helped you in your career?
I think the number one thing is have fun. Tony always had fun, even when it looked like he wasn't having fun, right? Even when he was mad and pissed off, he was secretly inside having fun, making all those smart aleck remarks. So I think it's about enjoying what you do, have fun with it, and then the other thing is to just go race, right? Like Tony Stewart is the epitome of just climb in, strap in, put the steering wheel on, and go race. And he's been so successful at that throughout his entire career. And as an owner, he's awesome to have as a resource, but also as a friend, because he gets it. He understands what we go through as racers.
Ross Chastain was in here and he called BJ McLeod a, quote, badass. I didn't know. I was curious. Did you have a relationship with BJ since he's a Floridian driver as well?
Yeah, I grew up racing against BJ in the Super Late Model Series all around Florida, but especially here at New Smyrna. He raced a lot at New Smyrna, and I raced a lot against BJ. And when you showed up to the racetrack, when BJ McLeod was there, you knew you were going to have to race him to win that night. And so he's one of the most accomplished Florida racers we have. People don't realize that when they turn on the TV and watch him in the Cup Series, how incredible of a race car driver, especially a short track racer, that he is.
When you're getting to the end of the Daytona 500, intensity ratchets up. Does your mindset change? Do you start looking for the big one? I've asked this question to all the drivers, and it's interesting to hear the different viewpoints of when they start thinking about, you got to be in position to be in the front at 25 laps or a certain lap. So what is your mindset thinking about the intensity picking up and the big one potentially coming and maybe backing out?
Yeah, you feel it. It's hard to explain. There's not a lap number that everybody's like, all right, it's time to flip the switch. We're going to go nuts now. It really just happens. It evolves. It's very organic. And, one guy makes an aggressive move. Then another guy counters. Then somebody blocks. Then somebody else. Next thing you know, it's gotten really intense, really fast, in just one straightaway. And so you have to anticipate that. You have to feel that energy building. You have to see what's going on around you. You have to be aware of your surroundings. And when that starts to happen, you have a choice to make. Are you going to stay in the thick of it and try and maneuver your way through the intensity to put yourself in position, or are you going to bail? And a lot of that, has to do with where you're at in the race. What position are you running? Are you 6 rows back trying to create something, or are you 3 rows back and got a shot at the lead? Like, all those things stack up to making the decision. And every driver's different.
Right. So when you do get to the final laps, let's say you're running at the front, do you have a specific driver, not one you want to push, because I know it's going to be a teammate or something, that you have concern about that may be more aggressive, has a history of being more aggressive on this particular?
No. When you get to the end of the Daytona 500, every single driver is incredibly aggressive. I mean, when you get inside of 5 laps to go, nobody's going to lift. I mean, I don't care how nice they are. I don't care how great of a racer they are. I don't care if they have a track record of being, mean or not. Like, everybody is going to do whatever it takes to win the Daytona 500.
Perfect. Thanks, Aric. Appreciate it. Good luck.
What was your reaction to Tom Brady retiring and leaving the Bucs?
Happy for him that he's accomplished so much, and I was, grateful for the time. that's really what I took away from Tom, Brady announcing that he was retiring, is that I'm grateful for what he brought to Tampa. Tampa had struggled since we won our last Super Bowl in 2002, I think it was. Just haven't really found the success since then. And so Tom Brady coming to Tampa and bringing that nature and that culture from a winning organization and really putting Tampa back on the map as a football team that can win against anybody and to go on and win the Super Bowl. It energized our city. It energized our fans. We started having sold-out crowds again. It was awesome.
This is Austin Dillon, driver of the Bass Pro Shops Chevrolet. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Also check out one of those 2 videos beside me. Visit frontstretch.com for more racing content.